Gospel reading for today, even though this isn't really going to be much of a sermon, but the gospel reading is from Matthew, and it's towards the end, but Jesus is still trying to get the disciples to understand what this new world is really supposed to be like, and they are very stubbornly not listening the way they need to in order to understand. And so Jesus is instructing them again, and he says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. After agreeing with the laborers for the usual daily wage, he sent them into his vineyard. When he came out about 9 o'clock, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said to them, 'You also go into the vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right.' So they went. When he went out again about noon, and about 3 o'clock, he did the same. And about 5 o'clock, he went out and found others standing around. And he said to them, 'Why are you standing here idle all day?' And they said to him, 'Because no one has hired us.' He said to them, 'You also go into the vineyard.' When evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his manager, 'Call the laborers and give them their pay, beginning with the last and then going to the first.' When they hired, When those hired about 5 o'clock came, and each of them received the usual daily wage. Now, when the first came, they thought they would receive more, but each of them received the usual daily wage. And when they received it, they grumbled against the landowner, saying, 'These last worked only 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who have borne the burden of the day and the scorching heat.' But he replied to one of them, 'Friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for the usual daily wage? Take what belongs to you and go. I choose to give to the last the same as I give to you. Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or are you envious because I am generous?' So the last will be first, and the first will be last." This was my least favorite section of the gospel, and they did this a lot in the Catholic Church. It's one of those I remember from those days. Because who wants to hear that it's okay to let the last people who were standing around for a long time, how much, were they really trying to get hired? Or were they just standing around? You know what those people are like, those ones who don't get there early in the morning and have everything ready to go. I mean, maybe it was their kids were sick or something like that. They've always got an excuse, that's for sure. And so now, here they are again, and Jesus, is he blind? What's going on with him? He knows what's going on. These guys are coming up at the end, and they're thinking, well, let's just see what happens. Or maybe they're not thinking that at all. Maybe they're thinking, I lost out on another day when I'm not going to get enough money to feed my family, and another day when I'm going to have to go home and explain to my wife and my kids why the owner of this land walked right by me and took somebody else when he was going out to find laborers for the day. He didn't come to me the second time he was out, or the third time. Maybe I don't know, maybe I missed him. Maybe I left and went to the bathroom during that time or something, but I never heard the call, but I always wanted to hear the call. And I think about going and meeting at the river, and the people who are meeting at the river, some of them these days, and very dangerous rivers, hoping to get to a place where they will be able to make a life's wages, a daily wage, where they will be able to do something to help their children and their spouse and their relatives, all of whom are just waiting and waiting for the possibility that there will be something for them, something left after all the people who have gone before have gotten theirs. And so you can understand, I assume, why this is a grating sort of story. Because here in our culture, we believe everybody should get paid at the same rate if they're doing the same work. And unless they're men and women, that would be a little different. Or unless they're, in a minority group and we've arbitrarily decided they're incapable of doing that work. But in general, if you're all together in a classroom and your teacher says, I'm going to give everybody a gold star today, and you get a gold star and so does everybody else, and then the teacher gives something special to one of the kids, and you're like, no, that can't happen. I'm going to tell my mother immediately when I get home what you did, how you made all of us feel bad, just because little Susie got an extra star today because she finally figured out that THEN, which she's been trying to figure out for a long time, the N, then, oh, it's then, I figured it out. And so she got an extra one. That's not fair. Why should I do any of this work if you don't have to do anything and then somebody's going to reward you? Wouldn't it be nice if we were the ones who got to do the rewards? If we could go around and say to the people, the kids, got something special for you, and something special for you, and something special for you, and then at the end of the day, everybody has gotten something special, and everybody knows that they're glad that they came to this place, because even though this is their first time there and they don't really understand what's going on there, they felt so welcome because they were brought right in with the others, and they were included just like the others, and they were given enough for the day and reassured that tomorrow will be another day like this, where everybody is together, and together we will make the world, or maybe just this classroom, or maybe just those kids sitting in that particular section, having a better day. We'll probably have to come back to this on some other occasions, because it's not one of those things that you just, oh, okay, now I feel good about it. I'm glad that Jesus gave us this parable and understood that, God has got all these things and they can give them away as they choose, because we've worked so hard our whole lives, and it's never been enough. No one's ever told us that we're good enough or said that we are loved enough so that we can sit back and feel good even when someone else is getting a special treat. So we'll work on that maybe, and we'll see how it goes. And in the meantime, we will, let's see what comes next. Oh, we're going to sing, There's a Wideness in God's Mercy. Now, nobody asked for this, but it kind of fits in with that reading.